G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present Jump On, Jump Off. We didn't do it last week. We both just couldn't figure out a time to do it, but that's all right. We're back. Everyone's trying to finalise their side now, and I'm joined as always by Brad from SuperCoach Pro. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. Still trying to fight this cold flu sort of thing. So taking a
Hey,
couple of medicine tablets and hopefully it works. But yeah, see how I feel in the morning. Um,
guess what I
yeah,
didn't tell
so
you off air?
sorry,
Guess what I didn't tell you off air?
what?
It's my fucking birthday today.
Fuck! Oh, fuck! I didn't even know.
No, that's all
Oh, I'm
right.
so happy birthday! Happy birthday! Everyone,
Thanks, man.
leave in the comments down below saying happy birthday to Brad. Uh, it's his 57th birthday. Um,
Oh, close enough. Yeah.
halfway there. Yeah, we'll get into the most traded out players for this week. Feels like this week's one of the last weeks relevant for talking about trades, to be honest. So we were just speaking before going on air that we are actually thinking of maybe doing live streams for the rest of the year. So instead of maybe this sort of format, we could do a 1 hour live stream, maybe pick out a specific date, probably not the Tuesday night because every single content creator does a stream on the Tuesday night. So we might do we'll have to sort out a date, maybe a Monday, maybe a Wednesday, something like that. We'll talk more about it privately. So yeah, let's get into Bailey Humphrey, the most traded out player in Supercoach for this week. 120 break even. I think he's a clear jump off. The role's not there anymore. 0% CBAs this week, 7% the game against Carlton. I just think he's a jump off, made his money, been a very good rookie for me, and I'm sure a lot of other coaches, but it's now time to jump off. What do you reckon, Brad?
Yeah, just looking at CBAs as well. And yeah, since after the buy, he hasn't got any really. Like you said, 7% against Carlton. Break even's pretty high. His price is pretty good at what it's at the moment. So I'd trade him out in the short answer. Yep.
Yeah, he's given us he's given a lot of coaches great memories, but yeah, look, he wasn't going to be a keeper at the end. Some people were potentially holding him as potential cover, but I think it's now time to maybe flicker him to potentially like a Harry Himmelberg type, whatever the case may be with how much money you've got in the bank. Number two, we got Will Ashcroft. Well, I think most people are trying to finalise their team this week, and I can perfectly understand why you want to jump off. But for me personally, I think it's actually very likely that I hold on to him this week, just because of a couple of really nice matchups coming up against the Tigers and against the Eagles, both at the Gabba. So that just makes me think I think he can score pretty well in those couple of games. So maybe I might delay my finalised team in round 18, that sort of thing. But round 18. But I can understand a lot of people why you want to jump off. What do you reckon, Brad? I think if you want to finalise his side this week, he's a pretty easy jump off, but I might hold.
Yeah, I think the next two fixture games pretty good. Overall, he's been averaging 44% CBAs. He had a spike game against Sydney that was at 72%. Last week was down to 41%. I think he's made enough cash, so I'd probably get rid of him, even though he plays West Coast next week. There's still no guarantee that he goes, 120 both weeks. But yeah, I'm a case for either or, whatever suits your team. If you're getting a primo now, I would just upgrade straight away and just benefit from the primo rather than hold on to a guy just because you think he's got a good match up the next 2 weeks. If he goes 80 and 80 and you could have got a primo that's going to score 120 both weeks, you're already missing out on a lot of points already over the next 2 weeks doing that. So if you're playing for rank, I'd just be super aggressive right now and trade him out.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I totally understand that. I think a lot of people want to finalise their side, and he's perfectly fine to jump off. Number three, Josh Weddle, another very good rookie. It seems like a lot of these good rookies we're jumping off now, obviously because we want to finish our team. But Weddle's been very good if you picked him up at 130k, even 160k when he went that first price rise. But I think it is time to jump off unless you want to hold for him as cover. There should be no reason why Hawthorn drop him at any point for the rest of the season. 81 break even. I think it's a jump off if you need the money. I mean, if you're planning to hold him as cover, that's totally fine as well. But with no DPP, it's a little bit more annoying. But I can totally understand. What do you reckon, Brad?
Maybe because you're the Hawthorn fan, do you reckon he's playing more lockdown now that Sicily's not playing? Like, did you see his role? Did it change?
Yeah, he's more locked down. He was playing on I think he was playing I went to the game last week. It was sort of hard. We were like forward pocket. It was sort of hard to see most of the ground. But from what I saw, he played quite a bit on Lukosius and that sort of thing. I think it was more Seamus Mitchell and Will Day getting more of the ball. But
Yep.
he was certainly a bit more defence. Weddle,
Yeah, okay.
a bit more locked down. So I think we look to expect that over the next couple of weeks with him. So if you're not looking at if you need the cash, he's probably a good jump off there. Number 4,
Yeah.
Rory Atkins. His job security is no good. I was going to say maybe you would hold him for cover defensive mid, but he was the sub last week. And look, to be honest, he probably should have jumped off anyway. But 298 K, what's his break even? He was the sub, so probably isn't good. Yep, 86 break even. I think he's a jump off pretty clearly. What do you reckon?
Yeah, jump off because that sub game is going to be in his cycle for another couple of weeks. So, given that fact that he's going to go backwards in cash, I think you've done your dash, and I'd get rid of him. I don't think he's even decent cover now. He's the 23rd best man, so to speak. So I'd definitely just think on his job security. He's going to eat cash. Get rid of him ASAP, mate.
Agree, mate. Number 5, we've got Jeremy Cameron. Obviously, was really he was very unlucky to get concussed there by his own teammate. There was a bit of a freak accident that happened on the field. You can't really predict that sort of stuff. So good to see that Jeremy Cameron's all good though. Seems to be. I mean, he will miss a week, but it could have been a lot worse for him. But yeah, it's brutal for anyone with that -3 score. That's just super unlucky. But look, I think he's a hold. Like you brought him in as, I think you brought him in as your F6, F7, that type of thing. He's got a really good run at GMHBA for the rest of the year. I think he is a hold. A lot of people jumping off, but he's only going to miss a week. So look, I'd hold. What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, you're definitely holding him. He's only missing 1 week, and his fixture's not too bad. But what are you going to do with that money? It's not like he's, a 500k player. And like you said, he's generally people's F6 or F7 anyway. And on the flip side to that, I'd be looking to bring him in 2 weeks' time when he's about 330k. So 2 rounds ago, I brought him in because he was actually number 8th ranked forward, believe it or not, in total points. So yeah, it's not like he's a bad player. Before that injury, and before the game, before that, he was actually averaging 98 SuperCoach points per round. For the first 14 rounds. So I think he's actually a really good pick. And yeah, a 10-day concussion protocol. Like, why would you jump off a guy like that? You're just going to burn and trade. So yeah, I don't understand why people are getting rid of him either, mate. So yeah, on to the next, I guess.
Yep, and on to number 6, we've got Elliot Yeo from the Eagles. It was announced that he's out for 3 to 4 weeks due to a hip flexor injury, I believe. So out for another 3 to 4 weeks. This bloke just can't stay on the park, unfortunately for him. But I think anyone that did pick Elliot Yeo, he did know the risk that was involved with this pick. I would say it was unlucky, but at the same time, I guess you got to expect it just due to his body. Just can't seem to get a full run together. I think I saw a stat today on Twitter. He hasn't played 5 games in a row since round 11 to 16 in 2021. So that's pretty bad. Like, so yeah, he is a jump off. Yeah, he is a jump off. Unless you're on no trades, I guess. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he's a jump off. So hopefully Abs Magic can find a magical trade, and Hippo Supercoach, he's got some trades, but there's probably why you don't bring in injury prone players like that. Not to have a dig at those two, but just in general, you just know these players just never have, history of staying on the park for long enough. And considering he had 2 injuries during the season as well, that was a bit of a red flag as well. For the price, I can understand why you brought him in, but 3 to 4 weeks is not worth a hold because there's only after that a month of footy anyway. So, there's no point holding this bloke. You're just trying to grab anyone for him. Maybe you go sideways to a Ben Keys. So, yeah, that's it.
At number 7, we've got Clayton Oliver. This is a massive talking point, and we are both Oliver holders. Unfortunately, it has been one of the most frustrating holds. Probably is my most frustrating hold I've ever had to endure in Supercoach personally. This is from a 2-week injury to now 5, 6, could even be 7-week injury. So, look, I don't know. It's really tough. I know a lot of people saying you've held for this long, you should hold. But the thing that I keep bringing up is what's he going to look like after, like when he is back? When he is back, what is he going to look like? He might get managed during games. We've seen star players get subbed out at 3/4 time if the game's done. Why would Melbourne need to take a risk? Like Melbourne's run's pretty easy. There's a chance that 5 out of those 8, 9 games left in the year where they're winning pretty comfortably heading into the 4th quarter. So it's that sort of thing. Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic. I did say I'd very likely hold. I've tried every sort of idea to maybe hold him and upgrade around him, but it is pretty hard. I might just want to be pretty aggressive from here and just jump off, cut ties with him now. Could even miss games towards the end of the year if Melbourne's position's pretty locked up. So I'm probably going to trade. What about you, Brad? What are your thoughts on Oliver? It's a bit of a big talking point.
To sum it up, I'd say if you got 4+ trades, I'd get rid of him. If you had less than 4, I'd probably keep him. But for me, I'd probably going to play devil's advocate. I don't think they might not rest the bloke because they probably want him to get him to full fitness by the time it gets to the pointy end of the season 4 finals. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's more if there's a thumping where they're, if they play West Coast again, then more of a subbing. But I don't think it'll be consistent subbing. I think they'll still need to get his match fitness for finals and want him to play in form. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. I'm more worried that he misses our bloody grand final of Supercoach 2, if anything. But I just think if you got 4 or more trades, to simply put it, I'd get rid of him. But if I had less than that, I'd hold, and I'd probably look to upgrade like 2 players into 1 primo and 1 rookie downgrade and sort of grab a 23rd premium like I've done with Keys and Cameron and players like that, and try to upgrade around him and get an extra cheap primo who's still going to average you around 100, but in the means, hold on to Oliver because he's going to be under 20% or roughly around there. So if he plays the last 8 weeks of the year and you're VCing this bloke, I think you got a huge advantage because no one's going to have trades by the time they can bring this bloke back in for 658K. I don't think his form will be hindered. I'm more worried that he will re-injure the hammy. So for me, look, I'm just going to sum it up. If you got 4+ trades, get rid of him. If you got under 4, you just hold him and upgrade around the bloke.
Yeah. It's all very team dependent on that sort of thing with Oliver. I think a lot of people are just going to say themselves, though, I've held for this long, I might as well continue to hold. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on. There's a lot to digest with Oliver. Hopefully we'll address as much as we could there. Number 8, we got Jacob Van Rooyen. I tried this bloke about 100K ago, and it's a bit of a shame that I've jumped off with him this quickly. But he's been a really good rookie. He's held his spot. He's kept Ben Brown out of the team. I think he's also been injured as well. But he's certainly shown some really promising signs. I believe this is his 2nd season. So to be that good in your 2nd season as a key forward is really impressive. I think he is a jump off. He's made you his money. You can get him to a premium. He's a jump off. What do you reckon, Brad?
What's his break even, just real quick?
72.
Yeah, I'd jump off then. That's my factor for that pick. I'd jump off ASAP.
Yep. Number 9, we got Alex Chincotta. Well, if you didn't trade him last week, I mean, I think you could probably keep him for cover, but can he stay in the side long term? That's another thing. He has been dropped before, so it's hard. It just goes to show one bad game and he's out. So I really like the way he plays. I think Carlton should be continuing to pursue with him, but I think Chincotta, if you're not holding him for cover, I think he's a trade. What do you reckon?
I think he's a hold as well because that DPP cover, being able to loop a score like that as well, if you are a primo short, I think he's still in their best 22. I don't think he'll get dropped for the rest of the season. I could eat, my words there, but I just feel like that defensive mid swing, if you're running Constable as well, I just think it's really handy because as this week, as I was saying off air, I'm looping Johnson's score for Oliver, and then if Johnson shits the bed, I'm just going to use Chincotta's score against Hawthorn and hope for the best. And that, sort of, what do you call him? You call him D7 M9 is really valuable, sort of a swingman, mate. So I think if you didn't trade him last week on his buy, I think he's actually a hold for the season. And I'll try to get rid of rookies that didn't have DPP in my summary for that pick, mate. I'd hold him.
Yep, absolutely. And then at number 10, we have got Eddie Ford, 252,400. He's made us a quick bit of cash, but what's his break even? 32. That's actually not too bad. But again, he's probably another bloke that probably won't get dropped for the rest of the year. You would think for North Melbourne as their season is cooked, so they need to get games into future pieces. And I think if you want to, I can understand if you want to hold him for cover, be a little bit tough without the DPP. But if you need that extra bloke that's made that little bit more cash compared to some of your other dead rookies, I think he's a jump off. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's a jump off if you can get to a 23rd primo, because a lot of people be running like a Marek and a Ford or a Buller and a Ford at this stage. And if he's your F7 cover, I think that's awful. So his break even's only 32. So I'd be getting rid of him next week. But if I could grab a cheap player this week, I'd absolutely do that, even for a 5 or something like that, just because having him on your bench with one of those other rookies is really ugly, and you never know. Ford could drop at 32 too, so I wouldn't mind if you chopped him this week, but I would definitely think he's gone next week unless he goes above 80. So yeah, I'd probably chop him early.
Yep, I can understand that. Number 1, for one of the more traded in players, the most traded in for SuperCoach this week, it is Jasper Fletcher, which I'm not high on, just because I guess I've been burnt big time by Harry Sharp after Chris Fagan saying, we've got to get games into him, gets dropped the week after. So I'm a bit hesitant on Brisbane rookies for the time being. 157k, no DPP. I think I wouldn't jump on. I think I'd rather go for like a 102k bloke, unless he's going to be a mid cover for the year, which I wouldn't be banking on him to stay in the side for the whole year. Brisbane are one of the best teams in the competition, so they do kind of need to play their more reliable guys. I think he is in the team for Zorko. Maybe not, but maybe I could be wrong there. Maybe it's Devon Robertson, but I think Fletcher, no, not big on it. I wouldn't jump on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't jump on either. I'd be downgrading to a 102k rookie, if named, obviously, as well. That would be handy. But I just don't see the value. I don't think his job security is that great. I was trying to look at his heat map and midfield minutes then, but my phone, being a Samsung, just didn't do a job. So, yeah, I know. I feel like he could also be a sub-risk candidate at some point as well. So I don't really trust it. There is a few injured Brisbane players that will come back, and once they actually want to come back, like your players like Rich, and who's the other guy that was from Hawthorn that dropped himself?
Gunston.
Yeah, so I feel like players like that who want to be – that was a strange scenario. But anyway, players like that, once they're fit and whatever, and they want to play again, I think he's the first one to come out. So it's not like he's earned his spot technically. It's like he just came in for players that weren't vibing AFL. So, yeah, for me, I wouldn't bring him in, to be honest with you.
They weren't vibing AFL. You won't hear many of those sayings around anywhere else. I love it. I love it, as a matter of fact. Number 2, we've got O'Shin Mullen from the Cataract. No, I won't get into that again. Yeah, I've got him. I'd like to think he could come back into the side if I really want a 20 for cover. But yeah, I guess if you need a 102K bloke, I don't really see the issue with it. As long as you've got probably another bloke in your D7, D8 that is got DPP as well. So no, I'm fine with it. You don't need him to play. You just need all the money you can eke out of players to get a good premium in. What do you reckon?
Yeah, for downgrade, I'd only bring him in if you've got a decent D7. I wouldn't bringing him in if he was your D7. Put it that way.
Yeah.
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 Butters.
Yeah. So Zach Butters, 614K. I guess we can talk about it now. Butters versus Liberatore. We'll talk these two together. Because of how even their prices are, you can't really go wrong with either. But my personal preference would be Butters. More exciting to own. 10 years younger, basically. Just an absolute young gun in the competition. Libba, you never know what can happen at his age. I mean, his role's very secure. I mean, both roles are very secure here, but I guess Butters is a bit of a kamikaze. He could do some dumb shit around the ball and get himself concussed, but look, I think Butters is just more of the exciting pick. If you eat vanilla ice cream, then Tom Liberatore is more your guy. But if you want to go your choc chip cookie dough, cookies and cream sort of type, you could go Zach Butters. I guess you could say with both picks though, that there could be a little bit of plastic in there, and it is a little bit dangerous owning them. That was going so well. I really fucked that up. Anyway, what are your thoughts on these two anyway?
Bring him in! Sorry. I'm getting excited. Yeah, I like Butters better purely because the DPP, and the fact that I don't know. I just like the Butters pick. Like you said, he is younger. He is a little bit more injury prone with, dumb shit going into the ball really hard, but that's football. And Libba sometimes scares me. I just worry about his body as well, but more like hammies and shit like that, to be honest. But yeah, Butters for me. He's got the DPP. He's in form. He's like up there in the players voting. He's probably going to be favourite for Brownlow. So I just think all those things. He's got good ways of scoring too. He can actually kick goals. Libba's not really a goal scorer as well. So I think Butters is more of a clutch player, gets scaled up a fair bit as well. And the other thing with Libba, a lot of people running McRae or Bont. So you sort of VC and C out of your options there by getting another doggy. So I prefer the Butters pick because not many people are really going to VC Rosie. There's not many other players in Port that you would. So I prefer Butters purely on VCC options every week as opposed to Libba. But at the end of the day, I think it's your team. So it's whatever preference at the same price, meaning they're scored at roughly the same points per year. So for me, Butters, but I do like the Libba pick as well if you don't have Bont.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we've got 10 minutes to go. That's all right. Number 4, we got Luke Ryan. This is sort of a guy that I just can't really trust personally. But I mean, if you want to go for a bloke where he'll do some amazing things one week, the next week could drop you maybe in the 80, that sort of type. So if you like a roller coaster, I mean, he's certainly your cup of tea. So look, not for me. I can understand it, but not for me. I mean, 521 is actually not a bad price for what he's capable of, but he's not a jump on, in my opinion. What do you reckon?
He's value for money in the back line, but if you look at his 5 round average, he's not as good as what he was at his hot start. Everyone brought him in after those big scores. They're not playing that chick mark game as much as what they do. And he's sort of one of those downhill skiers. When Farrell are on, he plays really well and scores really well. But when they don't, which they probably won't be by the end of the season, his score really declines a lot. So I just think when they have to play accountable football, you see those 70s and 80s. And I owned him last year, so I know what it feels like to own Luke Ryan. And then he'll get you because every 4 weeks he'll pull one monster to make up for his 90s. So I haven't liked the pick all year. I've sort of death rode him. I've never really recommended him too often, and I just never will. Just don't love it. I think there's better players out there in the back line anyway, mate. So yeah, I don't like Ryan.
Yep, and then at number 5 we've got Jordan Dawson. Yeah, if you haven't got him in your side yet, make sure you do right now. That should be your number 1 priority. So I won't say too much. Jump on immediately this week. If this is your final upgrade, good way to end your upgrades. Like, this bloke's just a great option. What do you reckon?
Yeah, bring him in. Enough said. He's got the DPP as well, and he's the best price he's been all year, I'm pretty sure. So I'd 100% jump on him so quickly.
Yep. Number 6, we've got Ryan Marriage, the young West Coast key forward from the mid-season draft. Again, as long as you've got DPP on your other forward bench slot, I think he's perfectly fine. He's going to play each and every week. Worst case scenario, if you run out of trades, it's round 22. You need a bloke to field. He might kick 3 goals and get you a 60, whoever they play. And yeah, that might be the only reason you need him for. But that 102K price tag, I think it's perfectly fine. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he's the only 102K player with decent job security, and who's going to play all AFL matches for the rest of the season, you'd think, although they may as well play Waffle this year. But I just think he's, you're not going to loop this guy's scoring. He's going to score anywhere between 20 and 50. So, yeah, for downgrade options purposes, yeah, jump on it. I prefer him better than that Geelong player. It doesn't make sense to bring him in over Marek. So, yeah, I'd bring him in, but it's horses for courses for that one, mate. So, yeah, jump on if you need a downgrade.
Number 7, we've got Darcy Cameron from the Pies. The majority ruck for the Pies. Now, he hasn't got the greatest injury history in the world, but he is really handy for that ruck cover, and he will score, I think, around 100 for the whole year. So I think he's a jump on pretty clearly. Still at a really nice price. I think he's a jump on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon he's an absolute jump on. I'm not too worried about his shins at the moment. He's a good price, good DPP. I think he's more beneficial as your F6. I don't really like him as your R2, but as for F6, why not? As long as you got a loop in Madden, which most people do. So, yeah, it's a jump on for me. I was just thinking just then, I'd look great in a Collingwood jersey with all my freaking tattoos. I'd just fit right in.
Yeah, I'll go over to your place and punch out a couple of teeth as well. No, Collingwood fans, you're all good. I don't mind you lot. Number 8, we got Jack Sinclair. I think it's pretty similar to Jordan Dawson. I think he's actually a pretty easy trade in. He's a pretty easy jump on. 564K. He's just good value. Top 6 defender. Yeah, can't go wrong with the pick. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm an absolute fan of him. Sorry, dad jokes. Yeah,
I can't take him anywhere.
We've been out once before. I'd take Sinclair, mate. He's a good price. I'll be surprised if he gets DPP. I wonder if he will after next week because he's been playing a lot of midfield. It'd be interesting to see what his midfield time has been. Do you know?
I don't know the exact. I haven't been checking much DPP news as of late, just due to like when it comes around 18, it's like, oh, cool. But you don't pay attention to it too much. Could be the case. I'd be all for it. Pretty handy. If you've got a defensive mid on your mid bench and whatever happens there. So number 9, we've got Ben Keys, one of my favourite trade-ins this year. I'll tell you what, I didn't watch a second of that game, but when I kept checking the scores, when I was on the bus on the way to Metricon Stadium and I saw that he was on 119, I'm like, me, how's he done that? While tagging Dacos, but he didn't hard tag him. But yeah, no, that one of the happiest feelings I felt with SuperCoach. You love it when a risky pick goes well, and he's gone well this week. We'll see how he goes for the rest of the year. there should be no reason why you take him out of that midfield now. But yeah, I think he's a jump on. I think he's a perfectly fine F6 for the year, personally. I think he'll go around if you don't have Cornelio on your side and you want to go Ben Keys. I think he's sort of a guy where you could try to, I guess, get an advantage there and think that he can out average Cornelio, but I think they'll probably average pretty evenly from here. What do you reckon, Brad?
Yeah, well, from round 11 onwards, he's got 70% CBA, 75, then 55, then 78. And that's reflected in his scoring. Before that, those rounds, he had 0, 3, and 15%. So, yeah, they've chucked him back in the midfield clearly. I can't work out who they've actually replaced. I've been looking at DFS for ages to sort of get the stats there. But and he plays North Melbourne this week. So I think he'll actually be better than Oip that you were talking on off air as well. You said he'd be better than Oiping. You could just rely on him to be F6 for the season. So, yeah, for that price, mate, I'm going to jump on too. I jumped on last week as well. It's probably one of the best trades I've also done this year. So, but we all didn't expect him to go that well against tagging roll against Dacos. So for him to pull that number out, it's insane. And if he can keep doing that to the end of the year, he's an absolute pod as well. So I really like that pick. And yeah, he's a definite jump on for that price in North Melbourne. Yep.
Yep, I like it as well. If he can just stay in that midfield for the whole year, that would be great. Look, this might be our last jump on, jump off episode for the season, just because there is not as much to talk about when in terms of trading, most traded out and most traded in players. As we said before, we're probably going to look to do a live stream for the rest of the year. So that sort of thing. We might get special guests on as well. I reckon that would be a good idea. Get someone new on each week, and yeah, just answer everyone's questions and leave in the comments down below if you guys like that idea. And also leave in the comments down below saying happy birthday to Brad. Look, Brad, if this is our last jump on, jump off episode for the season, thank you very much. I thought it was a pretty good success.
Yeah, thanks for having me as well. I think it's been bloody great. I think we killed it. We collaborate pretty good, so it's been good. We actually, I don't know if the viewers know, we met off Shorty's goal kicking vid. Was it last year?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was last year, around this time last year. Yeah, we met up. We got on chatting, and yeah, no, it was good to team up and do videos this year. Don't worry, we're not breaking up. This ain't a breakup, but we're just gonna start. I think we'll start doing some live streams starting next week instead of this. So, yeah, it's been a good series, and I think we'll do it all again next year as well. So yeah, look. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for jumping on, Brad, on your birthday. Happy birthday again, mate. My bad that I totally forgot. We're Facebook friends. I saw the notification and I was like, fuck, I forgot to say happy birthday, but happy birthday, mate, and hope it was a good day.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't too bad. I still worked, went to Muay Thai, just did normal shit. So after 30 odd, I'm not going to say how old, but you don't celebrate as hard. I couldn't even take myself out for dinner. So I'll drink on the weekend, Saturday night with some friends and shit. So that should be good then.
Sounds good, mate. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night, guys. Cheers.